On the occupation, there was a night the helicopters sounded like prophecy. Red and blue lights washed the brick like a dying star. We stood on sidewalks that remembered George Floyd. Somewhere in the smoke, the rumor, the live stream glow, I heard a voice cut through history like a transmission from a galaxy far, far away. This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I swear it didn't sound like science fiction. It sounded like Minneapolis. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. Tell me that doesn't echo. Tell me that doesn't feel like watching armored vehicles roll down Lake Street, policy dressed up as protection, your neighbors being questioned for the crime of existing. Order falling. Republic trembling. Empire rising. Well, they don't call it empire, they call it enforcement. They call it safety. They call it just doing their job. And sometimes the job looks like boots in your backyard. Sometimes the job looks like fear with a badge. I heard the transmission say, this message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Trust in the Force. What is the Force in Minneapolis? It's aunties in folding chairs with water bottles. It's teenagers live streaming the truth before it becomes corrupted. It is elders who have seen cycles repeat and still show up with steady hands. The Force is that thing in your chest that refuses to harden even when the city feels like it's splitting at the seams. Do not return to the temple. Do not return to what was. Don't pretend 2019 will come again. Don't call it peace just because it was quiet. That time has passed, and our future is uncertain. Uncertain like a protest that begins in prayer, ends in tear gas. Children asking, are we safe? I heard, avoid Coruscant. Avoid the shining capital. Avoid the illusion that power equals righteousness. Avoid detection. Some of us have been trying to avoid detection our whole lives, changing how we dress, how we speak, how loud we laugh, how angry we look. But he doesn't say disappear. He says, be secret, but be strong. Be secret, but be strong. That is strategy. That is survival. That is grandmother teaching you when to speak and when to watch. That is organizers in basements, not because they're plotting violence, but because they are protecting vision. Strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it kneels. Sometimes it links arms. Sometimes it feeds a stranger just after curfew. I heard the transmission become painfully honest. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. Minneapolis knows this part. Trust when the lie moves faster than the fact. Faith when the system you were taught to believe in feels like it forgot you. Friendships when politics draw lines through dinner tables. We must persevere. And in time, I believe a new hope will emerge. Persevere. Not explode, not retreat, not surrender to cynicism, because hope isn't naive. Hope is stubborn. Hope is the teacher that shows up after budget cuts. Hope is the student that writes a poem about their abuela being pushed down by ICE agents and still ends that poem with love. Hope emerges slowly like candles in windows, refusing the dark, and then the blessing. I heard that last thing always disguised as cinema. May the force be with you. Always. Always. Not just when the cameras are rolling, not just when the hashtags are trending, but when the streets are loud and when they're eerily quiet. When you feel like a Jedi in exile, you know what? Maybe that's what this moment is. Not the end of the story, but the exile chapter. Maybe the temple had to fall because not all stone is sacred. Maybe Coruscant was never ours to begin with. Maybe the Force was never in the marble halls, but in the people standing shoulder to shoulder on cracked pavements, refusing to let darkness define the narrative. So if you're listening, you feel the tremor in the air but don't quite know what to call it. Hear the transmission in full. I heard, "This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi." I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple. That time is past, and our future is uncertain. Avoid Coruscant. Avoid detection. Be secret, but be strong. We will each be challenged, our trust, our faith, our friendships, but we must persevere, and in time, I believe a new hope will emerge. May the Force be with you, always. Now, replace Jedi with neighbor. Replace temple with comfort. Replace empire with whatever name power is using this week, and then ask yourself, in this city of smoke and murals, sirens and sermons, what are you becoming? Secret, strong, or both?